students, welcome to the lecture number 10 of unit number 1 of biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetic, and the topic for today's lecture is plasma and tissue protein binding of drugs. Okay. In the previous lecture I have explained you about the first two factors, that is the tissue permeability of the drug and the organ or tissue size and the perfusion rate. Now the third factor that is affecting the distribution of drug is tissue binding of drug to the various tissues components. Okay. So, a drug that is administered in the body can bind with several tissue components, okay, and these components falls into two major categories. First is the blood. The first component is the blood. First is the blood and second is the extravascular tissues. Extravascular tissues. Okay. So, if the interacting molecules generally are the macromolecule, for example, the proteins, DNA or the adipose tissues. Okay. So, when the proteins are getting bound with the drug molecule, then there will be formation of a complex, and that complex is known as the, or that process is known as the protein binding of the drug. Okay. So, phenomena of the complex formation of the drug with the protein is called as the protein binding of drug. Okay. So, as a protein bound drug is neither get metabolized nor get excreted. So, it will be pharmacologically inactive, it will not show any response, it will not show any effect, it will be inactive due to its pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic inertness. Okay. So, this is the protein binding of the drug. Now, this protein binding can be divided into two categories. One is the intracellular binding and second is the extracellular binding. So, first is the intracellular and second is the extracellular. So, first is the intracellular binding, means when the drug is bound to the cell protein which may be the drug receptor, and if a drug is getting bound with a drug receptor, then ultimately it will produce pharmacological response or it will produce therapeutic effect or it will show therapeutic action. Okay. So, because these receptor with which the drug is in, and because it is showing the response, so these receptor to which drug is getting bound will be called as the primary receptors. Okay. Second type of binding is the extracellular binding. In this extracellular binding, the binding of drug molecule can be to the extracellular proteins, for example, the plasma protein, and when the drug is getting bound to the plasma protein, it will be pharmacologically inactive, it will be pharmacodynamically inert. Okay, it will not show any response. That is why this extracellular binding is also known as the that is why these receptors or these protein molecules to which drug is getting bound are known as the secondary receptors or the silent receptors. Okay. Now, what is the mechanism that is involved in this protein binding? When protein is bound to the drug, then there will be result in the formation of protein drug complex, and this binding of the drug to the protein is generally of two types. One is the reversible and second one is the irreversible. So, generally this binding of drug is reversible in nature, means this binding is having the formation of some weak chemical bond, for example, the weak van der Waals forces of attraction or the hydrogen bond or some hydrophobic bond or some ionic bonds. Okay. So, these type of bonding will result in the reversible protein drug binding. Okay. In rare cases, there will be irreversible drug binding that can arise as a result of covalent bond formation. That can also be a reason for the carcinogenicity or the tissue toxicity of the drug. Okay. So, there are two types of mechanism that is involved in the protein binding. One is the reversible and second one is the irreversible type of binding. In the reversible binding, there is the involvement of weak chemical bond, for example, hydrophobic bond, hydrogen bond, ionic bond or van der Waals force of attraction. But in case of irreversible binding, there will be the involvement of some covalent bonds. Okay, that can also that can also be a good reason for the carcinogenicity or the tissue toxicity of the drug. Now, this binding of the drug falls into two different classes. First is the binding of drug to the blood component and second is the binding of drug to the extravascular tissue, proteins, fats or bones. Okay. So, binding of drug to the blood component consists of two types of binding. First is the plasma protein, second is the blood cells. Okay. So, we have to discuss about all this. Firstly, the plasma protein drug binding. So, what is plasma protein drug binding? When drug bind to the plasma protein, and this type of binding is reversible in nature because it is having the weak chemical bond, involvement of the weak chemical bond. So, we can have different types of plasma protein, for example, albumin, we can say human serum albumin, alpha 1 acid glycoprotein, lipoproteins and globulins. And the extent or order of binding of the drug molecule to the plasma protein is albumin is getting in maximum amount to get bound with the drug. After that, alpha 1 acid glycoprotein or AAG, these will also called as AAG. This is the human serum albumin or we can represent it as HSA. These are the lipoproteins and another one are the globulins molecule. Okay. So, these are the different types of plasma protein that are getting bound to the drug molecule. Now, first protein is the albumin or human serum albumin. Okay. So, this human serum albumin is having the molecular weight of 65,000. It is having the molecular weight of 65,000 and the concentration of human serum albumin is present in the blood is 3.525%, and this is the maximum, this is the highest amount of the plasma protein that is present in the blood. Okay. And this human serum albumin can bind to large variety of all types of drug. It can bind to all types of drug, whether the drug is alkaline, whether the drug is acidic. Okay. So, it can bind to large variety of all types of drug. Next is the alpha 1 acid glycoprotein or we can say AAG. The molecular weight of this AAG is the 44,000. The molecular weight of this AAG is the 44,000 and we can also call it as orosomucoid. We can also call this orosomucoid. Okay. Sorry, this human serum albumin is as I have told you, it is available in maximum amount in the blood and it is having number of binding sites that are available to get bound with the drug molecule. So, there are 4 different types of binding sites that are available to get bound with the HSA or human serum albumin. The first binding site is the warfarin and azapropazone binding site. Second binding site is the diazepam binding site. Third is the digitoxin binding site and fourth one is the tamoxifen binding site. Okay. This site 3 and site 4, that is digitoxin binding site and tamoxifen binding site. Very few drugs are there that can bind to site number 3 and 4. Only the site 1 and 2 are there to which the maximum amount of the drug get bound. Okay. Site 1, that is the warfarin and azapropazone binding site, it is representing the region to which large number of drugs are getting bound. For example, the NSAIDs molecule. that is the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, phenylbutazone, naproxen, indomethacin, sulfonamides, phenytoin or sodium valproate. These all types of drug can get bound to the site number 1, that is the warfarin and azapropazone binding site. Second site is the diazepam binding site. Okay. So, the drug that can bind to this site are the benzodiazepines. Okay. And third site is the digitoxin binding site, and fourth one is the tamoxifen binding site. Okay. Now, a drug can also bind to more than one binding site also. A single drug can also having the affinity for more than to get bound with the more than one binding site. Okay. If there are two different binding sites to which the drug can get bound, then the main binding site to which it is getting bound is called as the primary site, and the another one is called as the secondary site. Okay. Now, the second type of plasma protein is the alpha 1 acid glycoprotein, that is also known as AAG, and another name of this AAG is the orosomucoid. It is having the molecular weight of 44,000, and all the basic drugs like imipramine, amitriptyline, nortriptyline, quinidine and propranolol can get bound with this AAG molecule. Now, third type of plasma protein is the lipoproteins. Now, in this lipoprotein, a drug is getting dissolved into the lipid core of this lipoprotein molecule, and we are having 4 different types of lipoprotein. First is the chylomicron, second is the VLDL, third is the LDL, and fourth one is the HDL. Okay. We are having 4 different types of lipoprotein: chylomicrons, VLDL, that is the very low density lipoprotein, LDL, that is the low density lipoprotein, and HDL, that is the high density lipoprotein. Okay. So, these all 4 types of lipoprotein to which a drug that is mostly the basic drug or the lipophilic drug, for example, the chlorpromazine can get bound. Next type of plasma protein that is available is called as the globulin, and this globulin is of different types: alpha 1 globulin, alpha 2 globulin, beta 1 globulin, beta 2 globulin and gamma globulin. Okay, this globulin is of 5 types: alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2 and gamma globulin. So, first is the alpha globulin, that is also called as the transcortin. This alpha 1 globulin is also called as transcortin. Okay. And it can bound to the steroids drug like corticosterone. So, it can also be called as corticosteroid binding sites or corticosteroid binding globulin, means CBG. It can also be called as CBG, that is the corticosteroid binding globulins. Okay. So, it can also bind to the thyroxine molecule also and the cyanocobalamin molecule also. Next type of globulin is the alpha 2 globulin. The alpha 1 globulin is known as the transcortin, and alpha 2 globulin is called as the ceruplasmin, 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 sorry, ceruloplasmin, ceruloplasmin. Alpha 2 globulin is also known as ceruloplasmin, and it can bind to vitamin A, D, E, K and as well as to the cupric ions. Okay. Next type of protein is the beta 1 globulin, beta 1 globulin, beta 2 globulin and gamma globulin. Okay. So, beta 1 globulin is also known as transferrin. So, as the name indicate, it will bind to the ferrous compounds. Okay. Next is the beta 2 globulin that can bind to the carotenoid, and last one is the gamma globulin that can bind specifically to the antigens or the immunoglobulins. Okay. So, I have told you about the 6 different types of plasma protein, sorry 4 different types of plasma protein that are available to get bound with the drug molecule. First is the human serum albumin that can bind to large variety of all types of drug that like NSAIDs, benzodiazepine or digoxin or tamoxifen. The alpha 1 acid glycoprotein, also known as the orosomucoid, it can bind to basic drugs like nortriptyline, amitriptyline, imipramine, propranolol, quinidine, etc. Third is the lipoproteins. There are 4 different types of lipoproteins that are available: chylomicrons, very low lipid VLDL, LDL, low density lipoprotein, and high density lipoproteins, and these can bind to the basic and the lipophilic drugs, for example chlorpromazine. Next is the alpha 1 globulin, that is also known as the transcortine, and it can binds to the steroidal drugs like the corticosteroids. Next is the alpha 2 globulin, that is also known as the ceruloplasmin, and it can bind to vitamin A, D, E, K and to the cupric ions. Okay. Next is the beta 1 globulin, that is also known as the transferrin, and it can bind to the ferrous ions. Beta 2 globulin can bind to carotenoid ions, and gamma globulin can bind to the antigen molecules. Okay. So, this is all about the plasma proteins. Now, about binding of drug to the blood cells. Okay. So, in case of blood cells, in blood 40% of the blood cells, of which major component is the RBCs, that is the 95% of the proportion of the blood cell is the RBCs. Okay. And this RBC consists of 3 main components, and each can bind to the drug molecule. First is the hemoglobin, second is the carbonic anhydrase, and third one is the cell membrane. Okay. So, first is the hemoglobin molecule. It is having the molecular weight of 64,500 Dalton. Okay. And it is having the 7 to 8 time concentration as compared to the albumin in the blood. Okay. So, drugs like phenytoin, pentobarbital or phenothiazine can easily get bound with the hemoglobin molecule. Next is the carbonic anhydrase. Okay. So, drugs can also get bound to the drug that can bound to the acetazolamide, and chlorthalidone can bound to this carbonic anhydrase because they are known as the carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. Next is the cell membrane. Imipramine and chlorpromazine are the drugs that can bound with the RBC membrane. Okay, red blood cells membrane. So, this is the about the plasma protein drug binding. Now, the tissue binding of the drugs. So, the body tissues apart from the human serum albumin consist of 40% of the body weight, which is 100 times than that of human serum albumin. Okay. So, tissue drug binding is having very much importance. So, this tissue binding of drug is having very much importance in this drug distribution. Okay. So, a drug can also bind to one or more of the several tissue component. So, what is the importance of this tissue drug binding? This importance of tissue drug binding in the distribution there is of from 2 point of views. First is with the help of tissue drug binding, there will be increase in the apparent volume of distribution of the drug. Okay. When a drug is getting bound to the plasma protein, due to this binding, the size of that complex, when protein is getting bound with the drug molecule, there will be complex formation, that is known as the protein drug complex, and size of this protein drug complex will be higher, and because of this higher molecular size, this drug will be unable to get distribute into the different tissues or the different body compartments. Okay. So, there will be decrease in the apparent volume of distribution because of the protein tissue binding, but in case of tissue drug binding, when drug is getting bound with a respective tissue, then because of having more volume, because the tissue are having the more volume in which drug can get distribute, because of this higher volume the drug the volume of distribution or apparent volume of distribution can get increase in case of the tissue drug binding. Okay. Next is the localization of a drug at a specific site in the body. Okay. So, the tissue drug binding can result in the localization of a drug at a specific site in the body. How? Because when a drug is getting bound with the tissue, this type of binding will be irreversible in nature. As I have told you in the starting of lecture that the plasma protein binding is of reversible in nature. So, it is having the involvement of various weak chemical bond. For example, the hydrophobic bond, the van der Waals interaction or ionic bond that can break easily. But in case of tissue drug binding, there is irreversible binding, that is in which there is involvement of the covalent bond, and to break that covalent bond is not a easy task. So, in case of tissue drug binding, the drug can get localized or drug can get entrapped into that different tissue, into that respective tissue, and that can also result in the tissue toxicity or carcinogenicity, or in the case of paracetamol there it can result in the hepatotoxicity also. Okay. So, tissue drug binding is very important in the distribution from two point of views. First point is the because of this tissue binding of drug, there will be increase in the apparent volume of distribution of the drug, and second is the in the case of tissue drug binding, because there is the involvement of the covalent bond and this type of binding is irreversible in nature. So, because of this drug can get localized at a specific site in the body, that can result in the tissue toxicity. Okay. Now, for the majority of the drugs that can bind to the extravascular components, the order of binding can be, in maximum they can bind to the liver. In maximum amount the drug can bind to the liver when we talk about the tissue drug binding, after that kidney, after that lungs, and after that muscles. Okay. This is the order of binding among the different tissues. So, highest binding can result in the liver, after that in kidney, after that lungs, and in the last it will be with the muscles. Okay. So, we are having several examples of extravascular drug binding. First is the liver. In case of liver, there is irreversible binding of epoxides of number of halogenated hydrocarbons and the paracetamol. And because of the binding of paracetamol, it can be resulted into the hepatotoxicity. Okay. Next tissue is the lungs. In case of lungs, there are some basic drugs, for example, imipramine, chlorpromazine and histamines that can get accumulate into the lungs. Third is the kidney. The metallothionein protein binds to the heavy metals and that can result in the renal accumulation as well as the toxicity. Next is about the bones. In case of bones, there is tetracycline drug that can cause the yellow discoloration of the teeth, or if there is toxicity or there is binding of a drug to the there is binding of a drug to the or there is binding with the lead molecule. In case of bones, there will be replacement of calcium and brittleness can be there. Okay. Next one can be the skin. In case of skin, chloroquine and phenothiazine can accumulate with the skin, or that can interact with the melanin pigment that is present in the skin. Next example is the eyes. In case of eyes, the retinal pigment of the eye also contains the melanin. So, chloroquine and phenylthiazine is also responsible for the retinopathy. Okay. The another example of tissue is the hairs, in which arsenic, chloroquine and phenothiazine are reported to deposit into the hair cuticles. Another example is the nucleic acid, in which molecular component of the cells like the DNA can interact with some drugs like chloroquine and like chloroquine, that can result in the distortion of the double helical structure of the DNA. Okay. So, in this lecture I have explained you about the plasma protein drug binding as well as the tissue drug binding. Now, a question comes in mind, that what is the difference between the plasma protein binding and tissue drug binding? Okay. In the plasma drug protein binding, there is the involvement of weak chemical bond. In the tissue binding, there is involvement of covalent bond or the strong bonds. Okay. In case of plasma protein drug binding, it will be having decrease in the volume of distribution or apparent volume of distribution. In case of tissue binding, it will increase the apparent volume of distribution. Okay. The plasma protein drug binding cannot result in the toxicity, but tissue drug binding can result in the toxicity. Okay. There can be the in case of plasma protein drug binding, half life of the drug can get short, but in case of tissue drug binding, the half life of the extravascular tissue that is getting bound with the drug is relatively long. Okay. So, this is the difference between the plasma protein drug binding and the tissue binding of the drug. Okay. So, in the next lecture I will continue with the methods for the determination of protein drug binding as well as the factors affecting the protein drug binding. Okay. Thank you.